everybody, good afternoon. I was gonna say good morning, but it isn't morning, it's afternoon time. Just a wee bit snowy out there. Not even snowy, just kind of like, yeah, I don't know. What do you want to call that? A little bit of moisture in the air. We are still working in the house, giving her, trying to get lots and lots of stuff done. I've got all the water lines hooked up here now in the house. I got to finish the sewer lines yet. Stairs is almost done over here. Stringers are made, they're all stained. The steps are all made. Over there's a whole stack of them. And I gotta do the toe kicks. Yeah, I'm gonna do that next. But right now we're gonna work on the countertops again. So we did a video, I think before, and the countertop turned out horrible. If you wanna see a past countertop job that we did, go back on our channel to our last house in Canada where we did a concrete countertop and it looked just amazing. I guess at this point, I don't think you've seen the epoxy video on the last countertop here, but you've seen the cement work. So this again is the countertop. This side I don't mind so much because it's got some white showing up, but on the other side it's like yellow, and that's because I used a yellow hardener in with the resin, not a clear. My bad. We got the right one picked up now. It is clear, and it should turn out just great. We also prepped the surface differently to open it up some more and give some more of the stones showing back up. So we're kind of happy with this look here now. Got lots of character around here. Lots of character around here. Well, it's really opened it up. So we're going to put epoxy on there now and see what that looks like. Mix it up. Mix up a batch right now. Put that on and see how well that turns out. And then for the island, it may stay like this for now, but basically we're going to just tear it off and redo it because we're not happy with the look at. Even in the middle here, kind of, I don't know if it shows up in camera, but it's almost like a greeny look because of the yellow hardener in there. Yeah, it just looks terrible. Every time I look at it, I just, ugh, it's so ugly. So we're gonna sand it all off. You see how it's yellowy there? Sand it all off and redo that one. But for now, we're gonna do this one, get it done. We've got everything taped up so there's no mess. And the sink especially. We don't want to wreck our nice stainless sink. So everything is all taped off, ready to roll. And we will now put the epoxy on. Now you can see it cracked. We knew it was gonna do that. I shouldn't say we knew. We were fairly certain that it was going to crack because it's a sandy mix. If you have more gravel in it, which is what we've done in the past, then you have less likelihood of cracking. But that's okay, it's not a big deal. We're gonna cover that up with epoxy. It does not bother me and it does not bother my wife. And it's our house, and so it's good, we don't care. The epoxy will just add, or cover that up, close it in, and it will just add, what's the word? Character, that's the word. It'll add character to the project. Looks like I might have to do a little bit more vacuuming here in the corners, a bit of sand built up yet. And then we are ready to roll.
Look like you're working or something.
Something.
That's a big old.
That's enough, I needed the tape.
Oh. You needed something over here.
Thank you.
Morning has broken, my windows are open. Wanna feel the wind blow through my hair. Which way do I follow? What happens tomorrow? I turn to you and hope you can guide the way. Sometimes I give up, just wanna.
Good morning, everybody. We're back in the kitchen here. The epoxy is dry. It turned out way better than the last time. Yeah, I'll show you. So this still looks wet. Looks very wet, but it is completely dry. And you can feel a few rough edges. There's some water bubble, or not bubbles, air bubbles that have come up. We'll probably give this a light sand. Like here's an air bubble right there. Give her a little sand, and then we'll throw another coat on again. But big contrast between that and this. They are both dry. This is dry. This is dry. And this one here, we did not sand it and scuff it. And we used a yellow hardener in our epoxy. So not a fan of this at all. We're going to strip this down. We're going to make it look like that is our hope, that we can still do that and salvage this. The first one we did in Canada, we never sanded it either. We poured it, we dusted it off, and then we poured epoxy on top of it, and it turned out wonderful. This one did not. And that's okay. Life is all about learning, making mistakes and learning. But you can see how yellow it is. Just not a fan. And we're liking this one. You like it?
Yeah.
Much better, eh?
Nicer.
So it definitely needs another coat. Sand some of these lumps off, but turned out beautiful. In our opinion, it is very nice. Along the sink here as well. You can see it. Now that crack that I showed you the other day, you can barely notice it anymore, but there's a crack here and there's a crack here. That's all right, it's all character. We taped this off so we wouldn't make a mess of our sink. Very good. I noticed here we had a few runs, so the next coat we'll try to go over that. So there is epoxy there as well, but there's a thicker layer in a couple of spots. So. No, very good. Much happier, and that's how you learn. To make mistakes, you just gotta try something. If you don't ever try anything, you won't make mistakes, sure, but you also won't succeed, right? You have to put effort into something and just give it a go. And so you learn as you go. We happened to get lucky the first time we did this. It turned out wonderful. We were so thrilled with it. And second time, not so much. Anyway, you just keep learning as you go. All right, we don't like the island. True story. Aaron here from Countryside Acres. Today we're gonna do something about it. This is the new counter we just did. We like the shine on it. There's still some imperfections that we will be sanding off. I've got my sander here. We're gonna sand off some of these imperfections and do another clear coat of epoxy. But other than that, we're very happy with how our countertop turned out. This one, on the other hand, not so much. We like the white, we don't like the green, and we don't like the yellow. Main reason is I used the wrong epoxy. It didn't work out very well. And we should have just roughed up the countertop first to get off, just expose a bit more aggregate. What we did here, we have a cleaner look with more exposed aggregate pieces. Gives it a nicer look. Then this one has ended up being very blurry. We tried it with the sandpaper. The problem is when you're sanding it, it gums up. Okay, you end up with this, and now you're just riding on this resin rather than actually sanding anything. So, what we're gonna do, we have a grinder. Actually, this was gifted to us. Here's a used grinder. This lady's husband passed away, and he had a bunch of tools there that she didn't need, and she thought, hey, Countryside Acres would probably really appreciate this, and we do. So if it was you, thank you very much for your used grinder. It also came with some diamond blades. There's one here, and another one on the far end of the table over there. What I've done is built a dust shield. You turn it a little bit. This was the bottom of a bucket. This bucket, to be exact, that was full of candies or something, wasn't it? Somebody gave us this full of candies. So we used the bottom of this bucket. I know it's a shame because it was a nice bucket, but it was perfect size. As you can see, it just fits around the disc. I cut it so that it just doesn't stick past. And now we attached a leg here. This leg is actually a stand. We had an extra one of these stands, and we bought these when we bought the cupboards. If you look underneath the cupboard, you can see it's sitting on little black legs. And there was extras, so when you unthread it, it makes for a nice little vacuum port. So that's part of it, and now we have a hole. And then we drill the hole down through so that the vacuum can suck the dust right out of here. We also had to drill a hole in the center in order to get the bolt from the grinder through. But now it's perfect. This fits in there nicely, doesn't hit anything, and the vacuum should suck it all. I would like to hot glue gun this, but unfortunately they used all the glue for crafting, so I don't have any left. We're gonna give that a go. That should take the epoxy off. Now, truth be told, I haven't ground epoxy in 16 years probably, so I really don't remember how far I gotta go down. We're just gonna give her a go, put the vacuum on it, see what it looks like. It's either gonna work or it's not gonna work. Those are the options. Not really gonna hurt anything. Ideally, we'll get it all done nice. We'll get it all cleaned up. We'll pour clear epoxy on so it looks just like those countertops in the middle here.
Stray
Alright, my dust shield didn't quite work as well as I hoped. It's shooting off too many pieces underneath, and because I've got the vacuum coming in from the top, obviously the centrifugal force of the diamond cutting blade wants it to spin around and come out the side, right? And I've got the vacuum port on the top just because that's the only way it worked out. So now I rigged up this piece of wood, just drilled a hole out with my hole saw over there out of a large chunk of wood, drill the hole in the side. I'm going to stick the vacuum on the side here now, and hopefully that'll help suck up more of the pieces because too many of them are spraying around.
I would be up waiting for you if you had to leave. I would wait a lifetime if you were at sea. I just wanna say that I feel that our love is real. Maybe we should hurry up and seal the deal. Take you there. I would give it all away to do it all again. Make our love a story that would never end. Never thought I'd feel so alive, looking in your eyes.
Alright, so step number one. No, the most important thing, the most important thing to remember, don't make a mistake. This is extremely time consuming, taking this epoxy back off, but it's coming. The only thing I'm worried about is I do have disc marks. I'm hoping I'm going to be able to sand that out, but you can see because of the rotation, I'm going to have these lines in here. But I mean, it is what it is. I don't really have much choice. It's got to come off. Also, on our last countertop, when we had these spots, the whole countertop was whiter. But this actually is spots that haven't, if you see here, they haven't bonded. So this is not the kind of white stuff we want anyways. So anyway, it'll all come out. I had to buy a new grinder. The other one quit last night, started smoking like crazy. And then on closer inspection, I noticed there was a crack in here on both sides. So I don't know if we dropped it, maybe it came that way, I don't know. It was vibrating quite a bit, and I'm assuming that didn't help it last any longer. So I just picked this one up today. Seems to be working real good. It looks like a Makita, but it's not. I don't know what that is. So far so good. Come with a 1-year warranty, and it's actually bigger. It's got more power than the other one, so it is doing a better job. But you can tell here, it's a pain getting this off. I think I got most of this off. No, we'll keep working at it, trying to get it done. I'm hoping to have it done today. So I did, I don't know, I'm not even sure. It is very time consuming though. It's not a quick process. I'll just keep going at it, try to stick at it. Hopefully get it all done, and then get it sanded to hopefully get some of these circular markings off. If you can tell or not, but you can see them depending on the size of your screen you're watching with. I guess there's quite a few of them, and then recoating it so it looks nice like this one. So big job to do yet, but we're getting her done. I made this piece of wood last night. I don't remember if we filmed it or not, so if we did, then I guess you see it twice. But I had the plastic disc first. Except that I wasn't getting the suction where I wanted it, and so now I made this wooden one. This is working great. It just kind of floats around here, and I can put my suction port here, and it's taking care of most of the dirt. This Daewoo vacuum that we have is also very good shop vac so far. It also has a turbo feature, and it's got this option of plugging your stuff in. So when I turn the grinder on, the vacuum automatically turns on. So that's super handy as well. The only other issue though is this keeps getting plugged. Uh-oh, somebody sounds not so happy. But we got, not this filter. I have another bag filter that goes over this. It's outside right now, I'm cleaning it. But just because of the dust, it fills that up. Now the nice thing is it's double filtrated, right? So it doesn't end up blowing into the house here, which would be terrible. It makes a huge mess. I did put the plastic up here just because there was chunks. As you can see, there's chunks all over here that do come skipping out, and then they just kind of go all over the house. And even here, right, you can see on these counters, there's a bunch of dust here. And so, you know, got to take care of that as well. Outside, boys are cleaning up, organizing a little bit. And we finally got around to framing this piece onto the side of the bunkhouse, schoolhouse. And that's where our wood boiler will be going for now. And heating the house, as well as heating this little schoolhouse. So that is something that we're happy to get closed in as well. So yeah, just generally tied up. We lost most of our snow. There's hardly anything left here now. And that reveals all the things that we didn't actually get cleaned up like we should have. That pile of lumber there, I'd like to get stacked up properly. Just so it's easier to find, we'll clean it all up, and they're cleaning up around here. Just generally making things tidy. We only got about 2 months of winter left, roughly, so pretty cool. Looking at the temperature again, it's very, very nice here. I really should do a comparison video. Today, I looked today, so today obviously changes from day to day, but today is December 21st, I think today. It is -3 here. It was +2 yesterday, just to give you an idea. Northern Ontario, where we used to farm today, is -24. Manitoulin Island, where we farmed just before moving here to Russia, is -20 today. Southern Ontario, where I would have grew up, I think is -15 today. And Western Saskatchewan, where we farmed before Manitoulin Island. We've moved a bit, I guess. So we farmed in Northern Ontario, then we moved to Saskatchewan, and then to Manitoulin Island. So in Saskatchewan right now, it was also -17. So -3 here is very normal. One thing that is striking me though is that, well, those boys are noisy out there. We don't get very much snow here at all. So we would be used to getting far more snow. We've actually had a hard time making any kind of a snow hill yet. So that's a pile of sand that I had dropped off. And then the kids have got this plastic sheet down here, hoping to make a bit of a slide, which is kind of working, but we just don't have any snow for it. It might come yet. But even last winter when we were here, we got here in January, and we didn't find there was very much snow here. So compared to what we would be used to, I guess. Not very much snow. And that makes sense then too, because I looked at the snow plows and they have very small plows on them. And that's probably why, because they just don't get the volume of snow that we would in Southern Ontario. You know, where you can get, well, you can easily get 30, 40, 50 centimeters of snow in a night or in a day. And so you need snow plows that can handle that kind of volume and shove it off the roads. Yeah, snow removal equipment here is much smaller and a lot less of it, which is probably makes sense if you don't get as much snow, right? So far so good. We're almost 1 year in, and obviously from 1 year to the next can make a big difference as well. But so far this year, the weather here is absolutely favorable and on par with what we're used to, or better, I would say. All right, back to the work. It won't do itself. Okay, this grinding is monotonous and boring, but we're getting there. You can see some color there now. Interesting how it's working out as I'm sanding. I think because the sand comes to the top, once I grind through this, it looks like this. So I've done that in a few spots, and I'm not really sure if I want to leave that. I think it'll look cool. In the epoxy, it'll show up different. This countertop will not turn out the same as that. That's okay. Islands can be different than regulars. It's more important that the countertop has a uniformity, which it does. And then if this is slightly different, that's okay, as long as this is all uniform. So I got this much left over here yet to do, and then I got to go over everything to make it more fine and even. I still have lots and lots of these circular marks that I'm not too fond of. They're not bad now. I just worry they're going to look really dumb when I put the epoxy itself on. This is cool. I found this while I was working. It almost has a shine like copper, and you can't see it on the screen too well, maybe depending on the angle. But it almost looked like a hunk of copper in here. But some kind of a rock or something. Anyway, I can feel some unevenness here. Here it dug in a little too deep, and you know, it's coming. So we'll get the rest of this off, and then I will go over everything. And then I'll probably put the grinder away and go over everything again just with sandpaper to give it a good scuffing, to try to get it evened out. This guy's holding up so far, but it's starting to wear out. And you can see I've grounded a little bit. The plastic shielding I've made is pretty much all the way gone. There's a little chunk hanging on. But it's doing the trick. That's the important part. It's still a bit of a mess. You can see there's dust and stuff everywhere. Here, this is all kind of calculated, but at least it's not throughout the entire house. Especially because she's got her appliances and things in here as well. And then you can see what I'm working on here. Working with. It gets all caked on here on this dust bag. So I gotta kind of knock that off. And then that's how much we've already sanded off. So that's a mixture of epoxy and of course some sand and stuff as well. So I was trying to, come on. Very good vacuum, by the way. I'm very happy with this vacuum. I was kind of going like this. And that knocks a bit of the dust off the bag, and then I can suck again because it's noticeably less suction once it fills up. Pick that up. Oh, I can't remember. OBI maybe? Not sure. It's so funny. You come from a different country. You kind of know which brands are good to go with and which ones are not. And now I move here. I'm like, I honestly, I'd never heard of Daewoo. Apparently it's very popular. They make a wide variety of different things, and they are in many different countries, but it's not something I'm familiar with, or not something I was familiar with. It reminds me of Rigid. Anybody that's familiar with Rigid tools, it's got the same colors, the orange and black. But yeah, it seems like a very good, dependable. It's wet and dry vacuum, so nice vacuum. All right, we're gonna get back at her. Keep going. Got my earmuffs. It's pretty loud. My hands are quite tingly after I was done as well. You can just, yeah, it feels funny holding on to the grinder so long, but it's coming along. Hopefully we'll get her done here, get her all cleaned up, and I get a coat of epoxy on yet today. You can see the sun is going down. It's starting to get dark. Isn't that cool? Show you with the other camera. The one antler rack unfortunately broke off, but it still looks pretty cool. This was made, the same guys that made the styrofoam forms for our basement. They were making this. I showed up. I had to pick something else up from them, and they were making this for the one guy's kindergarten, his kid's kindergarten. And I was like, hey, that's really cool. So I know he gave me one. I'm like, oh, don't you have to do that? He's, oh, I can easily make another one. So anyway, really cool. I got to find a way of painting it. They also gave us a whole batch of snowflakes. They're up on top of the fridge there. Just a matter of finding the right paint, and then it could last for a long time. But really neat. Still, I'm hoping to get into there sometime and film that machine, because I think it's just a really cool thing, I guess. It starts off with a great big block of styrofoam, and then they can cut all sorts of neat stuff out of it. Whatever, I guess, the imagination can come up with, put it in the computer program, and this machine will cut it out of styrofoam. Like that. That's pretty cool. The neat thing is when you're getting into moldings. I know years ago already when I started, I guess, with house building, we did some renovations and stuff as well in old Victorian style homes. And some of the trim work that you get around the windows, it's very costly to reproduce. Back when labor was cheap, you could easily make trims like that, and it would be more affordable. But now labor price is very high. You have to find alternative ways. And so one of them was by making trims out of styrofoam. Styrofoam moldings are much easier to produce and much cheaper. And by the time they're up and painted properly, you can't really tell the difference. So also the outside of buildings, they were using them, and then you coat them with like an epoxy or cement. And that's what these guys do as well. So they have styrofoam plates you can put on for like coined corners on a building, or trim work up on the top. It's really cool. Sky's the limit, really, whatever you come up with. All right, enough talk. Back to work. This is hopefully going to fix up our mistake. What's your mistake, actually? It's Cora's mistake. You can't see her behind the camera. We're going to blame it on her. Does she want to blame? Do you want it? You don't want it?
No, you blame her.
Cora's mistake. Pardon?
Her turn. How you blame
Her turn? Yeah. So it's Cora's mistake, the last one. So we're going to fix it up. But we don't have a big enough dish to mix in. So we have to do some calculations. So it looks like that worked out to 650 milliliters. What's half of that, buddy?
Is 325.
Oh boy. So we need to make sure we have 325 left in here. Get close. Little science experiment here. If it starts to smoke, throw it out the window. Count for 2 minutes.
1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi, 5 Mississippi, 6, 7 Mississippi.
You know, if you just said the numbers slowly, you wouldn't have to put Mississippi in here.
Uh-oh, I think I lost count.
You were 10 standing,
2 Mississippi, 3 Alfred, 4.
Mississippi.
Gotta think of something else.
Try number 2. Please be the right color.
How bad is it look?
It's gonna look so much nicer.
How bad is it look?
It's purple. It's purple.
I'm not graining it out again though.
Make it all look nice.
This is
We
my
should
self
try.
one.
We should grind the other one off.
What?
Because this one looks so much nicer.
What about all the grinding works?
No, I think it'll all look the same when we're done.
Right?
It's quite pretty.
Wait, what?
Pretty.
Got orange in it?
It's got like stones.
Do you like it better than the last one?
I do. Yeah, I like it better when it's dry, usable, and
Now
nothing.
we have to buy more of those plastic sheets. Everybody, dobre utro всем. Меня зовут Arend Veenstra. We are working hard here again. I'm going to try to finish the stairs. Pardon the mess, everything is a mess because we are working literally everywhere all at once. And in stages. So the stairs here now, I'm hoping to finish. These treads are not stuck. They all got to come off and we're going to glue them all and put them all together, plus finish the last ones here and get that done. We got quite an overhang on these. There's actually going to be bookshelves under this. And then these ones are cut short because there's going to be a wall built. I won't have time to do that today. There will be a solid wall here. And this plumbing will be in part of that wall. Sewer lines and then hot and water going up to the bathroom installed here. That's our basement stairs. Still lots of painting to do. Lots of painting to do. That's okay. Bathroom. We got the cupboard in here. I got to finish it off some point. That's the door for here. I need to install that. Toilet running. Tub needs to be finished, hooked up. And I got a vanity ordered here. Got to put that in. The countertops, I just poured another batch of epoxy on that today. I love that shine. So it's all got a second coat of epoxy now, and definitely looks a lot better now, in our opinion at least. Way better than it did before with that yellowness. This is now a clear epoxy. Second coat. It may need a third coat, but we have a gathering here in 3-4 days. So I think this is probably going to be it for now. We'll install everything, get the house in order and cleaned, and then if we want to do another coat, we can do that later. Getting the pantry slowly filled up with stuff. The fridge is starting to get filled up. I got to get the stove installed over there. We installed the gas line already. We're just using propane for now. It's down here. That needs to get hooked up to the stove. I got to get this flooring done, and I got to get the ceiling done in there. Not finished yet. The beams will wait, but we have some plans for that as well. This door's in. I got to trim it yet. This wall needs to be repainted. She wasn't happy with it. Plus, coming in and out with, you know, just the dirt that we have here on the gloves, it slowly but surely gets all dirty. So that needs to be done. And then the entire laundry room needs to be done yet, but I am not in a rush for that yet either. The main goal right now is that we get this space ready for company, as we are hosting a dinner here and just a social evening with a bunch of our friends here in Russia. And so we would like to get the space ready for that. And obviously I got a lot of cleaning up to do because I got tools and stuff here too. So loads of work, big long list of stuff to do, and we're just gonna check them off one at a time. The stairs right now, the toe kicks are stuck to the treads, and I just need to attach them all to the risers now, glue them all down, and screw them down so that they are firmly fixed. We have also, upstairs, Waylon's busy putting some bunk beds together to get ready for that. And we are going to install the radiators. So we have radiator heat. A lot of people ask how we're going to heat our home. Currently, we are heating with small electric heaters. There's 4 of them here, 2 of them in the basement, 2 of them on the main floor. It is too warm. Last night, actually slept upstairs. I had to open the windows all night, and it's supposedly winter right now, but it's just so warm in here. The thickness of the wall doesn't determine the heat. It's the insulation and how it's built. And so this is a normal way of building a house for us in Canada, where it is also very, very cold climate, and we do not have problems keeping our house warm. So these heaters are supposed to be good for 25 square meters each, meaning I have 100 square meters worth of heaters basically. And this is a 270 square meter house, and the heaters are turned down because it just gets too hot. I actually have to open the window to make it a little bit, like today it's just cooking in here. What else can I tell you? That's going on. Anyway, we are going to put radiators underneath the windows upstairs for radiant heat. As much as I don't know how much we'll have them on, but they'll be installed. And then here on the main floor, we'll be installing heat lines underneath the floor from the bottom up, and so we'll have in-floor heat here. I'm not in a big rush for that yet either. Everything in due time. We have the materials here. It's just a matter of finding the time to do it. Right now, like I said, priority is getting this area ready for company and get this bathroom functional, get this space all ready to go and cleaned up. Okay, so step number 1 is already accomplished. I did the countertop this morning. Step number 2, I'm going to work on the staircase. So this gap here, unfortunately I can't find pine that's any taller. So I have the same thing on the bottom stairs, and we'll drive a piece in afterwards and then it'll all look good. In this particular area there's a wall covering, so it doesn't matter. But down below I have that problem. Yeah, it's too bad, but I just can't find pine that's wider at this point. Right? Right. Finishing touches are still required, but there's the stairs for upstairs now. So we're gonna build a wall in here yet, and then like I said, there's gonna be a bookshelf in here, maybe some drawers in the bottom. I'm not really sure. That's Anneesa's department to design things. I just try to build them. So turned out very nice. Here, originally I wasn't planning on having these stick out full length. I was going to cut them off, and so we're actually going to end up sticking past here a little bit on the door jamb, but it should be okay. I think I'll make it work. Maybe we'll have to cut the corner just so nobody catches their ankle on it. But other than that, it should be good. So that's that project. I just thought of another one. I got to hang these curtain rods here. That's got to get done yet too. Wes is working on plumbing in here now, getting that hooked up. And yeah, what was I gonna do? Oh, I'm gonna do the registers, get those hooked up on the wall, the radiators mounted to the wall next, and then start on plumbing. It's Arend with your mid-evening progress report. I haven't updated you guys on much of anything, but we are getting stuff done. Alright, stairs are still done. I don't remember if anything else was done in the bathroom. Wes built a bunch of cupboards here. Alright, the countertop I showed you earlier already, that's all done. I got a coat of mud up there on the ceiling, one coat, so I gotta do at least one more tomorrow on that. I am building a drawer right now. I built the drawer, so that's the first of many. Not very deep, just for utensils, and that'll be going up in here. So that's the next thing I'm gonna do is mount these hinges. And eventually, not all tonight, but it's 9 o'clock at night already, believe it or not. I gotta build 4 of those here. And then these are all drawers down in here. I'm gonna back you up, there you go. Drawers in there, and there is drawers in that one. I think there's drawers in this one. So I got lots to build here. This is the first. The top ones are very, very shallow ones, and then there'll be 2 deeper ones going underneath. Wes is drilling a hole here right now for the plumbing. We'll get the sink hooked up tomorrow, and for water and the sewer lines, the gray water lines, whatever. They're all hooked up underneath already in the basement. They just need to be hooked up here yet. And then same thing goes for the bathroom. The toilet water line is now hooked up. Tomorrow, I believe, the sink cabinet, vanity cabinet should come, and I can install it and get those water lines hooked up. Then we'll turn the water on at that point. Baby gate, so that Maddie doesn't fall down the stairs. We had kind of a temporary piece of plywood, but this is a lot more secure. This OSB is just temporary until I get around to building the bookshelves here. And then of course we got to build a railing in here yet as well. We'll get to that soon enough. Now, not every day is a good day. We have mistakes too. Things happen that shouldn't happen. And so I got to show you that sometimes, because it's also part of parenting. We have to have patience with our kids. I don't want you guys to think that my kids always do everything right, because they don't. And this is a good example. Wes was building these cupboards. He knows better. I know he does, because he's a very smart kid who's been building stuff for a very long time. But he put screws in that were too long. So now we have a brand new cupboard with holes in it. And the only reason I'm showing you that is just so that you know these things happen, and you just have to be patient. If you got kids, stuff's gonna happen. So you got an option. You can either say, well, I am never gonna let the kids do it because they're gonna ruin it. But then your kids are just gonna grow up playing video games, and they are never gonna learn how to actually do anything useful. And unfortunately, mistakes are part of progress. So this happens, mistakes happen. I don't think he'll ever make the mistake again, because he feels pretty foolish about doing it. Unfortunately, I have a cupboard that's, blemished. We'll find some way of patching that up. But it's still educational, and that's what I wanted to say. Let your kids make mistakes, because that's how they learn. If you bubble wrap them and protect them all the time and don't allow them to experience anything, they won't learn anything. Sure, they'll never mess anything up, but they also will never learn anything. It's part of natural progression. I have made many mistakes in my life, and you learn from them. You just grow from them. All right, back to work.
Hey darling, can I tell you what's been on my mind? Sick and tired of the 9 to 5 in the city light. Hey darling, we could get out of town, see the beautiful world around, wanna see it now. Pack our bags and get in that car, leave a little note and we'll drive real far. Let's get out, we can leave this city countryside is so pretty.